Have you ever had someone in your life who is always there for you? Your rock, your constant source of love and support, but suddenly they start ignoring you? It could be a friend, a partner, a parent, or even a mentor. They've always been dependable, but now they seem distant. They might not respond to your messages as quickly, avoid spending time with you, or act disengaged when you're together. And you're left wondering, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Here's the thing. Just because someone is ignoring you doesn't mean they don't care. In fact, psychology reveals that people who are always there for us might withdraw or ignore us for reasons that have nothing to do with how much they value us. Their actions could be tied to their own emotional struggles, cognitive habits, or even subconscious fears. In this video, we're going to explore the psychological insights behind why someone who has always been there for you might suddenly start ignoring you. Why does this happen? What's going on in their mind? And most importantly, how can you handle this situation in a way that strengthens your bond rather than creating distance? By the end of this video, you'll not only understand their behavior better, but also learn how to respond with empathy and confidence. Let's dive in. Part 1. Why they might ignore you, psychological insights. Exhaustion. The weight of always being there. One of the most common reasons someone who has always been there for you might start ignoring you is emotional exhaustion. Being a constant source of support for someone else can be draining. Over time, they may feel like they're carrying a lot of emotional weight, whether it's listening to your problems, helping you through tough times, or simply being your go-to person. Think of it as pouring water into a cup. If they keep pouring their energy into the relationship without taking time to refill their own emotional reserves, they might hit a point of burnout. This doesn't mean they care any less. It just means they need to step back to recharge and take care of their own mental health. The need for space in close relationships. Another reason they might seem to ignore you is the natural human need for space. Even in the healthiest relationships, people need time to themselves to reflect, recharge, and maintain a sense of individuality. When someone is always there for you, it can sometimes create an unintentional dynamic where they feel they're expected to always be available. Psychologically, this can lead to feelings of being overwhelmed or trapped, even though they care deeply about you. Ignoring you temporarily might be their way of carving out the space they need to maintain their own emotional balance, overwhelmed by their own stress. Sometimes their withdrawal isn't about you at all. It's about them. Life can throw curveballs at anyone, and even the most dependable person can become overwhelmed by their own stressors, such as work, health, family issues, or personal struggles. When someone is dealing with a lot on their plate, their brain prioritizes survival mode thinking. This means they might unintentionally push aside relationships that feel safe because they assume those connections can withstand the distance. So if they're ignoring you, it might be because they're overwhelmed, not because they don't care. The fear of letting you down. For some people, being a constant source of support comes with a lot of pressure. They might feel like they always need to have the answers, solve your problems, or be your emotional anchor. When they feel like they're falling short of those expectations, either because they're tired, stressed, or unsure how to help, they might withdraw out of fear of disappointing you. Psychologists call this avoidance coping. Instead of facing the situation head-on, they distance themselves to avoid feelings of failure or inadequacy. Ironically, this can make you feel ignored, even though their actions stem from a place of care and concern, unspoken resentment, or miscommunication. Finally, it's possible that their behavior is tied to unspoken resentment or miscommunication. If they've always been there for you but feel like their efforts aren't being reciprocated or acknowledged, they might start pulling back as a way to protect themselves. This isn't about being petty. It's about self-preservation. They might feel like they're giving more than they're receiving, but instead of expressing those feelings directly, they withdraw. This is why open communication is so important in any relationship, as we'll discuss in the next section. Part 2. How to respond when someone who's always there ignores you. Step 1. Pause and reflect. The first step is to resist the urge to react impulsively. When someone you care about starts ignoring you, It's easy to feel hurt, frustrated, or even angry. But acting on those emotions without understanding the situation can make things worse. Take a moment to reflect. What might they be going through right now? Have they been showing signs of stress or burnout? Is this behavior new, or has it been building up over time? This reflection helps you approach the situation with empathy rather than jumping to conclusions. Step 2. Check in without pressure. Once you've taken a step back, the next step is to reach out in a way that feels supportive rather than demanding. Instead of saying, "Why are you ignoring me?" try something like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been a little distant lately. Is everything okay?" This approach shows that you care about their well-being without putting them on the defensive. It opens the door for them to share what they're feeling, whether it's stress, burnout, or something else entirely. Step 3. Acknowledge their efforts. If someone has always been there for you, it's important to recognize and appreciate that effort. Sometimes, people withdraw because they feel unappreciated or taken for granted. A simple acknowledgement like, "I just want you to know how much I value everything you've done for me. I really appreciate you," can go a long way in making them feel seen and valued. Step 4. Offer support rather than demands. Instead of asking for more from them when they're already feeling overwhelmed, try offering support. You could say something like, "I know you've been there for me a lot, and I want to make sure you're okay too. Is there anything I can do to help or support you right now?" This shifts the focus from their perceived failure to meet your needs to a collaborative effort to support one another. It reminds them that the relationship is a two-way street. Step 5. Respect their need for space. Finally, if they need time to themselves, respect that boundary. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for someone you care about is to give them the space they need to recharge. Let them know you're there for them whenever they're ready to reconnect, but don't pressure them to respond on your timeline. Part 3. The benefits of addressing this issue. Strengthening the relationship. By addressing this issue with empathy and understanding, you create a stronger foundation for your relationship. When both people feel seen, valued, and supported, it fosters a deeper sense of trust and connection. Encouraging healthy communication. Addressing moments of withdrawal also encourages open and honest communication. It helps both of you feel safe to express your needs, boundaries, and feelings without fear of judgment. This is a key ingredient in any strong, healthy relationship, promoting emotional balance. Finally, addressing this issue helps both of you maintain emotional balance. It reminds you that relationships are a partnership where both people need to feel supported and appreciated. This balance creates a healthier dynamic that benefits both parties in the long run. Conclusion. So, why might someone who's always been there for you start ignoring you? It could be emotional exhaustion, the need for space, their own stress, or even unspoken feelings. The important thing to remember is that their behavior doesn't necessarily reflect how much they care about you. It often reflects what they're going through internally. Relationships are complex, and moments of withdrawal are a natural part of the journey. The key is to approach these moments with empathy, understanding, and open communication. Remember, the fact that they've always been there for you shows how much they value you. Sometimes, they just need a moment to focus on themselves. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone who's always been there for you seemed to withdraw? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights like this. And if you know someone who might need to hear this message, share the video with them. It could help them understand their loved one better. Thank you for watching.